Jump Drive.
Edward, what do you want to do today?
I don't know. We could go outside, but that's kind of boring.
Do you just want to go to Walmart again like usual? We are Extreme Outdoors. Extreme Outdoors is based in Pikeville, Kentucky. Adventure decided to turn our region's natural beauty into economic and recreational opportunity.
The core of Extreme Outdoors is a premium outdoor experience tailored for adventure seekers, anglers, and tourists who want to explore Pikeville's incredible landscape and heritage. Our equipment and services meet the needs of both locals and tourists, including high-end sonar fishing devices, ATV rentals, bait sales, and guided regional tours highlighting attractions such as Bob Amos Hill, Fish Trap Lake, and the legendary Hatfield and McCoy sites. Our approach connects outdoor recreation with storytelling, creating multiple revenue streams and a strong tourism draw.
We recognize the challenge of seasonal demand in an outdoor industry, so we're creating year-round engagement. During off-seasons, we will be offering survival classes, indoor workshops, and possibly some winter tours like snowshoeing. We're also building strategic partnerships with hotels, Airbnb hosts, and the Regional Tourism Board to promote bundled experience and establish early credibility. These moves will ensure we stay visible, relevant, and profitable throughout the year.
At Extreme Outdoors, we're not just selling gear, we're selling an experience. We'll offer authentic, story-driven adventures that highlight Pikeville's culture and history, turning every trip into something memorable. Our marketing strategy blends digital reach with local roots, leveraging Google Maps, TripAdvisor, and social media to connect with both tourists and locals. Through strategic storytelling and customer engagement, we'll build a brand that feels personal, adventurous, and distinctly Appalachian.
Extreme Outdoors isn't just good for business, it's good for Pikeville's economy. We'll create local jobs, keeping dollars circulating in the community. Plus, people who come to visit us will spend on lodging, shopping, and dining, boosting nearby businesses. We'll collaborate with local restaurants and retailers, helping revitalize downtown spaces and help us qualify for tourism development grants. This is a model where everyone benefits: the business, the workforce, and the wider community.
Extreme Outdoors also strengthens community pride and cultural identity. Through guided tours and educational programs, we'll share Appalachian heritage and promote outdoor learning. From survival skills to environmental conservation, we're also engaging youth through hands-on experiences that inspire leadership and a lifelong connection to the outdoors. By turning appreciation into preservation, we ensure Pikeville's nature and cultural treasures endure.
Extreme Outdoors is more than an adventure company. It's a strategic investment in Pikeville's future, built on real assets, nature, culture, and community. With the right backing, we'll turn Pikeville into Eastern Kentucky's outdoor hub, a place where nature meets opportunity and business drives lasting impact. And then we also have a website, as you can see, with a digital booking platform, as well as a services tab. With our services, we have ATV rentals, as well as listing potential prices. The pictures we have here are temporary placeholders, and we've got our fishing gear rentals and our guided tours. And then we have a get in touch with us page if you can't decide on what is best for your family. So if you pull it up, it gives you an opportunity to send us a message, help plan your trip. It tells our location, our hours of service, as well as a phone number and a contact email. And then there's also the booking page, which lists, like you can do half a day of a guided tour, full day guided tour, or a multi-day. You could select multiple services. You enter your personal information here, your date, preferred date of service, and any special request or notes that you want to leave. Then we also have a about page. It lists like the about us as a business, that we're rooted in Appalachian spirit, and we got placeholder information as well, such as experience and pictures. And then on our homepage, Also submitted reviews myself just to show that aspect of it, where you can leave reviews, and they're highlighted at the bottom here of guest testimonials. And then we also have our call to action centered right here with the Book Your Adventure Now statement. And then I would also like to draw your attention to a spreadsheet about Extreme Outdoors. It tells our business model as well as our target investors and our exit strategy. And then we have a market demand as well. Regional tourism growth for Pikeville is roughly 10 to 14% annually. Overall, Hatfield-McCoy themed attraction visitors is roughly about 500,000 annually. This information came from areas like WVVA, WYMT, and the Hatfield-McCoy trails. Peak season utilization of our equipment is roughly 80 to 90%, and our off-season utilization would be roughly 45 to 55% with the snowshoeing tours. And then the competitive saturation in our region is very low and is an underdeserved rental market. And then our core assumptions with our business, I have 3 business models listed here: an extreme launch, a moderate launch, and a lean launch. With our extreme launch, our initial capital investment would be $650,000, moderate roughly $400,000, and lean $200,000. These have variations in our fleet sizes of our ATVs and our sonar units, but as well, if Extreme Outdoors were to take off, we could secure partnerships with brands like Yamaha, for example, to partner with them to get a fleet for free, offering them a royalty on any fleet rentals. We have our average rental days that we would be available for a year based off of staffing and equipment with each one, which would be roughly 275 with our extreme launch, 255 with our moderate, and 235 with our lean. And then we could offer varying amounts of guided tours as well. With our extreme launch, 16 per week, moderate 10, and our lean 5. And then here I've created a 5-year financial analysis based on the amount of customers that we assume will visit us, as well as our tourism market in the area. As you can see, even on our lean launch, Extreme Outdoors still comes out profitable in its first year as a business. With each one, we are seeing at least a 6-figure profit margin as well. We also have a break-even analysis in each scenario, our lean, moderate, and extreme situations. It lists our financial cost, our gross margin, and our break-even revenue. And then here I have our ROI, our estimated ROI percentage based on our 5-year financial plan. And with our lean launch, we see an estimated ROI rate of 359.8% in 5 years. With our moderate launch, a 397.5 ROI rate. And with our extreme launch, a 419% ROI rate, as well as our 5-year cumulative net profit for each one being lean, $719,600, moderate, $1,590,000, and extreme, $2,723,200. Thank you for your time.
Can you go back to your core assumptions for me?
Yeah.
Where are your employee expenses?
What was it?
Your employee expenses, how are they incorporated into your assumptions?
So our employee expenses, I didn't list it as a itemized item on our sheet, but it is included in our overall cost, capital investment.
Do you know what kind of percentage that is of your overall investment?
Roughly, I do estimate that with our lean launch, it would be roughly about 30-ish% where we would have less employees and varying amounts of employees as you go up from the lean, moderate to extreme.
How many employees will you need?
We will need roughly about 6 employees for the lean launch.
Okay, can you go to your market demand?
Yeah.
Where are you getting your 10 to 14% increase in tour, or your tourism growth?
So that information was acquired from the Hatfield-McCoy Trails website. They listed that they had roughly about a 10 to 12% in their area specifically, and then as well as news stations like WVVA, WIMT had listed that their Hatfield and McCoy themed tourism growth for our area estimation was 10 to 14%.
So your assumption is you're going to take those clientele for your clientele? Or you're going to take a portion of those, or
A
how?
portion.
Okay, and you're going to, okay. I think that's all I have for now.
Okay, I think this is an interesting way to go with the new business. I think that having seen in my line of work on the growth and what's happened on the West Virginia side, we're just starting to see that on the Pike County side with the new hillbilly trail system. And they've been a lot of startup businesses over there do well. Some of those with this type of business. Also, a lot of those incorporate that with a campground or something along those lines. But one question I had is, what's your plan to obtain your startup capital that's needed?
So our startup capital that we needed was going to rely on both potentially a bank loan and private investment equity. Like pitch our business to potential investors who are interested in the region. Specifically, Eastern Kentucky has had a lot of additional investments recently in specifically outdoor tailored things given our natural assets.
I really don't have any questions. I think y'all did a wonderful job on presenting every aspect that you were asked to pitch. And I actually did have a question, but Dr. Johnson asked the same question, so y'all did a great job.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for a compelling presentation. I have 2 questions. There are many places to go in the world, or in the nation. So what is your competitive advantage for other potential sites, your competitors in a sense?
So our major advantage over our competitors is nobody is really leveraging the fact that we have like several Hatfield-McCoy sites here locally in Pikeville. There's numerous sites like the infamous hanging site, and nobody's really leveraging this as a form of, like a tourism thing or anything. And as far as I'm aware, throughout Pikeville alone, there isn't really any place where you can specifically rent like an ATV, fishing gear, or anything like that for, like a weekend trip or anything like that. So we'd be the first of our kind in the region.
Okay. And then second question, where do you see your potential customers coming from? Is it a 3-state area, 5-state, a 10-state? Where would be the primary group that you would attract?
So I believe our primary group will come mostly from throughout the broader Kentucky region, as well as midsection Ohio, lower Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, Tennessee, and potentially as far as North Carolina. These people generally have a stronger interest in the Hatfield and McCoy themed aspects of it, as well as interest in, like, I've seen people come here from those areas for like our trails, like the hillbilly trails and stuff like that.
Thank you.
I thought you guys did a wonderful job. I love the storytelling that you incorporated through this, especially with such strong oral traditions here in the mountains. I thought that was a really nice aspect. I was curious about your lean launch and if you considered beginning with only the peak season time. And yeah, I was just wondering what you could tell me about that.
Yeah, with our lean launch, we have considered stuff like only a peak season launch, as well as holding off on things like bait gear sale until our profits accumulate more and more. We also would kind of tone down maybe our fleet size a little bit during that peak season if we were to start off even more lean than our lean launch that we have listed on our spreadsheet here.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have more ideas about the storytelling portion? You mentioned like using Google Maps and social media and a third platform. Just curious about that.
Could you further elaborate on your question, please?
Yeah, it sounds like this like storytelling piece is a big part of the tours, and I just wondered if you had given more thought. Like it was compelling to say you were going to use some of these technology platforms to generate, these tours, and so I'm curious if you had thought about that more deeply.
Yeah, so like our tours is the like actual storytelling aspect of it. That's, we'll tell the stories of Hatfield-McCoy sites and stuff like that. The social media aspect of it, like Google Maps, TripAdvisor, as well as potential platforms like TikTok, Facebook, we would use those mostly for advertising purposes to kind of advertise our business, who we are, what we do, and what we can offer specifically for an individual person who is interested in what we offer.
And I'm asking because like clearly there's a gap, right? Like we're pretty good storytellers around here, but we're not capitalizing on this, and you're pointing that out. And to me, I think that's probably the most like compelling part of this pitch. The business model stuff around the adventure side is great, but it's kind of like, yeah, we've seen that, and maybe that helps sustain your business. But I'm asking about this too, because if you were to build really compelling content, the scalability of that to like a broader market digitally, YouTube, whatever platform, could go further and expand your kind of horizons. And good job like answering these questions on the fly, getting, money questions, like putting together a spreadsheet like this, at the level that you're at, I think is really, really compelling. And just like thinking through her question there, like if you had $200,000 split amongst 6 people and you're only, allotting 30% of that to, their salaries or wages, then that's only $10,000 a person. So kind of to Deborah's question, like if you did start your lean launch with a seasonal kind of approach, maybe that's more realistic. But I think you did a good job trying to respond to that. But anyway, good job.
Thank you.
Yes, your partners in this endeavor, one of the things, the Hatfield-McCoy aspect is quite interesting. Our society has become more deeply divided, but I went to the museum yesterday and understand there were a lot of peaceful transactions later on between Hatfields and McCoys. So I'm wondering if you could partner with groups like University of Pikeville to talk about peacekeeping, overcoming divisions. And I think there's a new interest in the land about that. Could be conferences, I don't know, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I believe actually talking about the more peaceful aspect of, the famous feud between the two families would definitely be something that we could leverage on to kind of draw some of that attention away from actually like the actual just division and feud between the two. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.